Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. This is my 2019 Lexus LS500 all-wheel drive, and it is now my car. This is a car that I recently acquired in replacement of my 2011 Porsche Cayenne in sand yellow, which I recently sold on Cars and Bids. And this car came as a recommendation from Doug DeMuro, and he said that this would fit all of my needs, which it actually does surprisingly well. It's got tons of room in the interior. It's got a very powerful engine, and I will talk about the engine in a minute because it is a little bit different than the rest of the cars that came in the previous generation with the LS460 or the LS600. To me, this is a car that definitely suits the bill for all of my needs. And it provides enough luxury and it fits perfectly into my current lineup of cars. I have a Porsche 911, as some of you may know. I have the Land Rover Discovery, which is able to conquer the off-road path whenever I need it. So in those two cars, I have a track car and I have an off-road car. And I basically wanted something to get to work in safely. And having two SUVs with the Cayenne, I figured, let me swap out the Cayenne for something a little bit more luxurious. And I went with the Lexus flagship. I thought about other cars. I considered other cars. I considered an S-Class. I considered a 400, an E450 wagon. I considered a Genesis G90, but ultimately my heart led to this because it just offered the greatest return on value. And being that it was going to allow me to be at a price point that wouldn't be too far away from just keeping my budget low and keeping the luxury factor high, I think that this car certainly suits the bill. And this car certainly does that. This car was perfect because it was literally sitting on the lot out on Long Island. It certainly had a few things that I needed to address. It had some window visors, which looked extremely ugly. It had some side strips to prevent any dings or damage that the previous owner had put on, which I thought were hideous. It has these pinstripes the length of the car. And some of my friends have joked that the car has a tramp stamp, which I find to be absolutely hilarious. Two of those three things I was able to eliminate. And the third, being the pinstripes, I kept because it's sort of the identity of the car. There's a lot of cool features that this car has. For example, it has the soft close, it swallows the door up feature. I thought that was really cool. It's got a very cool interior, and I will show you that right now. So fun thing about the Lexus LS500, it is highly inspired by the LFA. When the LFA came out several years ago, it was the flagship hypercar, halo car that inspired the rest of the lineup. It was going to be a trickle-down effect. For example, you have the Shrek ears on each corner of the top of the dashboard, just like an LFA. You have the centering ring that is also inspired by the LFA. Now, all things considered, this is a digital screen, but you could see the aluminum effect through the digital graphics that sort of give hint to the LFA and the impact that the LFA had on this car and every car in the Lexus lineup. And another fun fact about the LS500, it is the final car to offer a CD player. It is the last car in Lexus history that offered a CD player. And I think that is very interesting because the demographic for the people who are normally buying this car are older, but the new cars, basically the 23s, 24s, the 25s, and next year's 26 will not offer a CD player. They phased out the CD player, so the 2018s and the 2019s, and I think up to 21 still have the CD player, which I think is a pretty cool thing. And this, of course, was phased out in the later generations, and the screen was moved up a little bit. Even though this is a much cleaner design, the new generation is a touchscreen, and it's a little bit more forward-facing, and that is some of the subtle changes that occurred with the Lexus LS500. So the point of controversy for this car is the engine. You can't really see the engine because it's all clad in plastic coverings and whatnot to keep it protected. But the twin turbo, it doesn't even indicate that it's a V6, but it's a twin turbo V6, which many of the purest Lexus flagship admirers object to because they preferred the naturally aspirated V8. Introducing snails into the garden with a twin turbo V6 application is a lot like Jaguar with the XJ220 going from a V12 idea to let's make it a six cylinder and then killing their sales. Essentially, this car did the same thing. This car is or has been a V8 for its entire life, ever since it debuted in 1990 with the LS400, and then with the final generation, then put in a V6, obviously for emissions purposes and whatnot. But this car has the twin turbo V6 making 416 horsepower, making it more fuel efficient. I love the way it drives. So to me, I'm in a city driving, never going more than 40 miles an hour anywhere here in New York City or in Queens for that matter. And I'm driving about 40 miles a day. So it's not a big deal to me, but I could see it being almost like if you're out for driving performance, this is definitely not the car for you. If you're here for the luxury, this is definitely the car for you because it rides incredibly smooth. I'm not sure if you could balance a bunch of champagne glasses on top of the engine and start the car, but I think that this is the car that will get you from point A to point B very safely. Many people have objected to the V6 3.5 liter because the V8 had extreme levels of great reliability. The V6 so far in the Tundra, the GX, and the LX have had tons of recalls and have had issues of engine seizure, whereas the LS500 has the same engine but has not been subjected to those claims in large numbers. So only time will tell, but this car has been driven 60,000 miles, and from what I understand, these cars were built in a different plant in Japan, so you're not really subjected to the same drawbacks as the other cars in the lineup. But yeah, this car has been reliable so far, and I have a 2-year warranty, certified through Lexus, 20,000 miles. So normally I keep my daily drivers for about 2 years, so I think I'm safe. And I think I made a great purchase because I bought this car at the floor level of depreciation. That's a great sound. Sound of quality. Now, if you could see, I have tons of legroom and I'm 6'5". This is the perfect car with the perfect amount of legroom. And from the outside, it doesn't seem like this car is very big, but this is the direct competitor to the S-Class. This is a car that I feel like I have tons of space, tons of legroom, and I fit comfortably in the front seat as well as the back seat. This is a great car with great amenities and great comfort. And I highly recommend this car if you're a tall driver. The fit and finish of every single interior panel, it seems like everything is stitched in leather, finished in magnesium. For example, the air vents are magnesium. This is a metallic finish all the way around. You have real wood with real leather and an Alcantara finish on the doors, stitched. If you wanted to get the upgrade, you would pay for the executive package and you would get the Kiriko glass on the doors, but this is definitely good enough. And to think that this is a base model and it comes fully loaded. The same can be said for the back seats. Pretty much the best place you could be in this car. And because I'm the one driving it, I rarely ever get to sit here, so I'm jealous of the people who get to sit in the back. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this is my new daily driver. My new to me 2019 Lexus LS500 all-wheel drive. Perfect for all weather seasons here in the Northeast. If you like what I had to say, please like, subscribe, and comment down below. I have new merch in my store. This is my hoodie. Looks awesome. Some of you have ordered it already. Thank you very much for those orders. But most importantly, I'm here for the cars. Like, subscribe, comment down below, and I look forward to the next video, and I look forward to your comments down below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.